I think it's official. We're on a pretty good run right now. The horses in Pennsylvania raced good yesterday and today. Horses in Ohio raced well. Indiana, interested, very excited to watch. I think Mel Gibbs one's in a better spot than Mounts for All tonight, but interested to see both of them race. Right? Mounts for All didn't have a great start, his first start, but a lot of nice things said about him by Trace Dietrich and Adam Rucker, so I'm interested to see how they look tonight. All the horses, for the most part, I made a decision last night. A couple of horses raced flat in Ontario. We're going to move them. Renegade Gypsy and Stay Close. Going to shake things up and get these horses moving and on their toes. I just think they both fell kind of into a funk. We're going to try and see if we can, as I said in yesterday's video, kind of shake that ring rust off them and get them back moving in the right direction and back on track. Man, I'm on my way right now to Kentucky. So when the races were over, James had driven over with Paige, his fiance, and Mark McKelvey, Jimmy Gillespie. Dave Boyce was over here, one of our clients. And after the races, I said, I wonder if we can get into the restaurant up top of the racetrack short notice. Sure enough, we did. So right after the 16th race, I had a quick bite to eat with everybody, and we said our goodbyes. They went towards Ontario, and I went towards Kentucky. Now my GPS says I'll get to Kentucky around 11:40 tonight, which is pretty good. Get up tomorrow. We get 2 at the Red Mile, and then back to Lisbon on Monday. And if I play my cards right and I get everything done quick at Lisbon, I can make Oliver's game in Ancaster, Ontario before he gets the bat. I think they got him about 7th in the order, maybe 8th. If he's, historically speaking, that's where he's been batting in Ontario. If he's batting in the same place, then I will get there as he comes to the plate, if I'm lucky. So that's the start and the finish of from now to then. What took place before now? Well, that was today. Going in, not really on pins and needles. I was happy with what I've seen with Crantini. Not disappointed with Austral, but haven't seen the Austral of last year, right? The little bugger, he finds a way, for the most part, when the stake races come to town, to show up. He won the Arden last year. And this year. Now, won it as a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. So proud of the trip. Happy with proud of the trip I gave him. But happy with the trip that he ended up with, and proud of the way he finished off his mile. Crantini today, James busted out of it. He said, Tailgate Buzz, I haven't sat behind him in 2 years. I said, handy horse. He's coming in racing pretty good. He was on a tear. Then we had to scratch him in Philly. He was a good tightener last week. He should be okay. I think 26-4 and 53-3, kind of the combination of those two things kind of took the wind out of his sails. Now, James was 5th place 6th because, once again, he struggles with the styrofoam. Can't stay outside the pylons. And he was kind of mad after. He said, he's running in the last turn. I said, James, they put the pylons in the same place at every racetrack. Every racetrack. Down along the rail, in the turns, in the straightaways, there's pylons there. And it was so funny, I missed it. So in the States, the judges called down James McDonald fined for going inside the pylons. Now they had to set it back. So it was a little pissy. But it was, if he had been 2nd place 6th, that would have been really bad. But he was 5th place 6th. And he said, you have to get the ticket, you have to sign for it. So, apparently Ron Burke was standing there, and James said, 200 for pylons. And he goes, it's really not that bad. It's like $1 a pylon for you. So, not funny that he gets set back, but at the same token, I did see, let me see if I can pull this up here. I did not see what Austral went in. Luckily, I was just looking at it moments ago. Don't tell anyone. Tailgate Buzz trotted in 55 flat. Last quarter in 30-2. And I'd said to James, you're up at the quarter 26-4. He is a 55, 54 and a piece trotter. That's kind of where he can go, right? When Crantini's on his game, he's not supposed to be beaten by Tailgate Buzz. And that's to take nothing away from Tailgate Buzz. I thought he raced very, very well. That's what he can do. 55 flat off a quarter and 26-4. Yeah, that's pretty much what he can do. Not too happy with the 5th place probably 6 part, but we're going to have to deal with it because that's the way it is. So my first drive of the day was Crantini. Now, as I said, I didn't feel as much pressure. I think Crantini, not throwing his head now, he's doing his work very well. I think the move back to the meadows helped because he's on site. I did not like it. When we thought about it, the negative was he was on the track. No turnout time, no field time. He's on the track. But it's almost like boot camp, I think. He didn't throw it. You could see him throwing his head a bit going as the gate was starting out, but not leaping and, being a goof. I think he's just testing the martingale out. In Jurassic Park, when the dinosaurs were testing the electricity fence there, one of the first ones. I think that's what he's doing. He's testing the martingale out to see if it's a little longer than it was last week or yesterday or the day before. It wasn't. So, it come up into position. Now, he could not leave 26 and 4. I was back a bit, but I could see what was going on. I'm like, Jesus, James is really going out of there with this horse. And I knew at some point he would have to tap the brakes, and as soon as he did, out I come with Crantini. I had stayed in the 2-wide path because Ronnie was on the inside of me. Ronnie was trying to protect position, and I could see Mike's horse getting out of gear. I wasn't really in a big hurry to get in front of Ronnie or drop down to the rail. I just stayed there, and Mike's horse had made a break. And really, that was only on paper. Black Magic was great last year, but has struggled this year. On paper, our only competition was Commander Frank. He's on the run. So, as James taps the brakes, I move to the front. The one thing about Crantini, we almost have him too quiet now, which I don't want to say that too loud. We have earplugs and an ear hood and a screen on him. Now you got to chase him and keep him at his work and keep him at his work. I had to chase him down the backstretch, around the last turn, down the lane. He raced good. Obviously, part of me wants to say, take all that stuff off. Take that screen and hood and earplugs off. And there's that voice saying, how's your memory today? Is it okay? Because it wasn't that long ago. There's a reason he's at the meadows. Right? So, probably have just leave it alone for a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Just take the earplugs out. Maybe just leave the hood on him and see how he is. And I am toying with the idea of taking him and Brace for Landing to the Beal. Now, that might sound stupid right away to everybody. But there's 3 levels of the Beal. And I believe, I'm not positive, but I believe it's one of those stakes where if you enter and you don't get in, they give you your nomination money back. Now, with 3 divisions, I don't think anybody's going to make those, except for the top division. I don't think anybody's going to make either of those 2 colts look stupid. And we have at least 1, if not 2. No, we'll have 2 starts with Brace for Landing before we have to say we're going to nominate him, enter him into the Beal. I was okay with the trip the other night. I'm not there this week. James is going to have to drive him. So I'm interested to see what he's going to do. But as I drive down the road, down the highway, whatever highway this is, the 70, east, west, north, south, east, west, I don't know. So I drive down the highway, west, it says it right there, 70 west. My plan would be to, now Crantini's a little trickier. He's out of the not more than 3, but not more than 5 now. Now he's in a little saltier crew. Now this is aged, hardened company. We'll get him raced with the plan to potentially, now I don't have it in front of me now, if there's an issue with the Stallion Series or the Sire Stakes, and I think he's creeping back up into potentially testing the Sire Stakes again. Potentially, I'm talking about the Beal. We already know this is a fast horse. If he decides that he wants to now be a racehorse, I think we could have Crantini back. He's there. He's on the door. He's on the doorstep. He just has to knock. His head's squared away, it appears, right now. He's in a good place. He's trotting good. That was a good mile today. There was a lot of storms in the area, and it was pretty windy the first part of the day. And I'm not making excuses. It was a good mile. Well, I mean, just look at the Adios. What, they going 49? They went 47 last week, 48. A different day today. That was a good mile, 53 and 3. Well, put it this way. Austral Hanover was all out 55 and 2. Crantini went in 53 and 3 and did it his way. Carried all the mail for the most part, except for the first quarter. So Crantini, happy with him. He may be heading to the Beal his next start. And I asked Yannick, I asked Scotty, Nancy Tactor was there, I asked her, I said, the rules for the Beal, I know it's by money earned, but is that life or is that 2023? Nancy went in and looked it up, and it's 2023. So Crantini has about 33,000 made this year. I suspect that should get him somewhere around B. It may get him in the bottom division, but it may get him in the middle division. And Brace for Landing doesn't hit very much at all. So really, for Brace for Landing, they would need his entry to populate that third division. So it's probably more likely that he would not get entered. But if it is one of those stake races, we would get our nominated money back. I'm fine either way, I suppose. I'd like to actually race him. So I was extremely happy with everything about Crantini today. And the quiet part, don't ever think, oh, he's just too quiet. Watch what you're saying. He's not too quiet. He's just behaved. And at any point, he could boil over. So just very, very happy with Crantini today. We went out next. I was so surprised with Austral. He's just such a sweetheart to drive. And, Mickey, the girl that works for Tim, had said to me, she goes, I just love this horse. I said, Mickey, let me tell you something. You don't love this horse, you just don't like horses. Because this is the sweetest horse on earth. He does nothing wrong. And he's kind of on the fringe, on the precipice of winning a race or doing good all year. He won one with Ronnie. He's been racing good with Aaron. But just wasn't there. I thought he was in a great spot with Mark, but got pacey. We added an extra set of bell boots. He raced okay, finished up strong from last start, I believe. And then tonight, I looked right at Dean. I said, I'm not leaving with him. Everyone's going to be leaving in here. I'm not leaving with him. And did I love seeing them stacked 4 high going into the first turn, 3 wide around the first turn. I knew that Mike's horse was going to get beat up and stretched out. Austral's no slouch. Good horse, too. He beat up on Mike's horse last year, I think, if I'm not mistaken, unless I'm getting them mixed up. So as all the dust settled in front of the grandstand, I knew it was going to happen. Take your time. I know for sure that Aaron Johnson's not coming. No rush. Take your time. Yannick come first over, dug me right up into the race, and I knew halfway down the backstretch I was probably a winner. You can tell when Austral is interested, when he is focused on the race, his ears are up, and he's right up on top of the driver in front of him. It's go time, and I haven't seen a ton of that this year from him. I saw it today. I was trotting the last turn very, very good. Yannick's horse wasn't. Mike's horse looked like he might be a little vulnerable. I wasn't going to give them a second to relax. I put him in gear right there and was coming with him. We come out of the turn and he was gone. He just raced so good. I was just so proud of the horse because he's getting really close to coming to $100,000 made life for us. Just an absolute, literally in the most literal form, you cannot like horses and not like Austral Hanover. That's just the way it is. He is an absolute gem of a horse. Now, the only bad news of the day, aside from Tailgate Buzz getting chewed up a little bit, being placed back, was Paycheck Princess, and I'd said this after Yannick and I and James and Scotty were sitting there. I said, as an owner, especially as somebody who has trained the horses down and then raced the horses, it's very frustrating to not see them take that next step, right? Just not have them be as good as you'd hoped. It is such a gratifying feeling when they are, but the exact opposite when they aren't. And Paycheck Princess does everything right. She has all the tools to be a nice horse. She just hasn't put it all together. No excuses today. She didn't shut her air off. They got away in a good spot. She just couldn't follow the speed. Now, who could? They went 51-1. I mean, she paced 56 flat, but threw 31-2 at them and very disinterested in the last turn. So the breeder, Jacob and his father still own a sizable chunk of this filly. And I texted them after. I said, really sorry it didn't work out. I know you guys come all the way up here to watch the filly race, but I think we're just going to turn her out. What are we going to do, beat our heads against the wall? You know, somebody said, well, can we race her in a few maidens? No. I'm not going to race her in a few maidens. Unless she is going to win and look good doing it next week, I have no interest in racing her. And this isn't a knee-jerk reaction to a flat mile. We haven't seen a good one yet. A lot of excuses, but no real strong mile. Not one. Yeah, she raced alright for Timmy, her first start, but again, weak on the end of it. Scoper, nothing really there. Doesn't wear a boot. Pace is nice and clean. Leaves quick. Follows flawlessly. She could be a nice horse. Or she could just be a horse. I think the only way we're going to find out is to keep her, turn her out, bring her back. It's the only way. And now that the grass, we still got lots of nice grass on the ground. Nice weather. Now's the time to do it. So Paycheck Princess is going to the field immediately. She's all done for the season. We'll bring her back. What's today? Almost August, September, October. We'll bring her back first part of October probably. Get her ready, much like we did Absolute Euphoria this year. Get her ready for January, February. See how she fits. See how she looks. See how she's pacing. And then make a decision. Are we going to retain her? Are we going to race her in the stakes? We're going to race her in the stakes. Do exactly what we did with Absolute Euphoria. Just give her some time. Now, she needed the time. Time is still time. So I think that's exactly what we are going to do with that filly. So had a great day with Tailgate Buzz. Had a great day with Austral Hanover. Had a great day with Crantini. Tailgate Buzz chewed up a little bit, but he'll bounce back. He's tough. Austral Hanover was great. Paycheck Princess was not. We still have some more horses coming. We still got Mounds for All, who's about to race in 1 hour. Great bet. 40 minutes after that, no free lunch. And Mel Gibbs Swan, man, I'm so interested to see what this horse looks like. I spoke briefly to Ron Burke today and the other day. Throughout the week, he's been at the Meadows, and I've talked to him. He said they're really high on Mel Gibbs Swan, and they're really trying to train some snap speed into him, much like we do. They just think that there's a lot under the hood to work with, and he liked Mounds for All. Now, he's obviously not in Indiana. This is third-person information coming from Adam Rucker. Good trainer. He's Burke's guy in Indiana. And he said that he liked Mounds for All and that he really liked Mel Gibbs Swan, and I am very, very interested to see how they race tonight. So good luck to everybody. We got half our day over. Exactly half. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half our day over, half to come. I'm on my way to Kentucky. I will, you know what? I'll almost be to Kentucky when Mel Gibbs Swan races. So you might get a second video coming your way with the latter part of today's racing. But for the first part, the first 4 races, very, very happy, and we are on some kind of tear in the last 72 hours. Good luck to everybody the rest of the night. Tomorrow, obviously, in Kentucky, big day for us again, and throughout all next week. So with that, I will talk to you all very soon. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful day.